What's popping? That's a weird. Howdy, y'all. No. I'm still trying to learn who you guys are. So for today's comment, let me know who's your favorite Guardians of the Galaxy character right now. I know it could shift, but currently I'm lame. I know it's the most loved. I love a good Rocket, and I love Rocket. Anyway, hey YouTube, welcome back. My name is Kiera, please. And if you haven't seen me face before, I think you should. You should try it. I didn't post last week, if you were aware, because I went to Mexico to film a commercial. Yes, I'm trying to be an actress, and I think I'm going in the right direction. But other than that, we're going to talk all about Guardians of the Galaxy. But before we do, I need to say thank you for 300K. It was only 2 weeks ago we were at 200K. So mind-boggling, yes, but thank you. Extreme gratitude I have in my heart right now. So I was lucky enough to see a early screening of Guardians of the Galaxy, directed and written by James Gunn. The synopsis of this one, it's the third part of two others, because 3 comes after 2. In Marvel Studios, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, our beloved band of misfits are looking a bit different these days. Peter Quill, still reeling from the loss of Gamora, must rally his team around him to defend the universe along with protecting one of their own. So the stakes are high because obviously one of them, can't say who without spoiling it, but you'll find out at the very beginning of the movie, is in a little bit of a trouble. They've gotten into a little bit of shenanigans. Now, I feel like I always say this, but I'm not a huge Guardians of the Galaxy fan, but I mean that in the sense of just like I never was a hardcore, parkour, you know? But I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the movies. I actually preferred the very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie over the second, just personal taste. I always thought it was fun. It's exaggerated. It's funny. The characters work well together. So I've always genuinely just enjoyed them as a group of people. Now, I've never read the comics. So if I'm saying something wrong, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, please. Put it in the group chat. Don't put it here. That being said, Marvel has been, how do I say, not necessarily hitting the target all the time. I feel like they've been putting out a lot of stuff, but it hasn't necessarily resonated with me. I feel like how the early like Avengers and those movies resonated with me. I don't know. It's been feeling like a lack of substance, I would say. And I'm not really sure where to put my finger on it, but something has been kind of missing for the Marvel movies. Now, I don't think any of them are inherently the worst movies I've ever seen in my life, but I don't know. It's Marvel, so you expect fantastical, you expect greatness. I mean, I get it, it's a superhero movie, so how much can you expect with storytelling? But I don't care. You can tell a good story despite any circumstances, whether it be PG-13, PGG, a good story can be told. It can capture an audience no matter what age range. So I went in with a lot of grains of salt. I'm not gonna lie, I did not really expect much of it because I wasn't really expecting much from Marvel. Sorry, Marvel, it's just the truth right now. But I still love you. You know, you still cool in my book. So I went to this movie theater with an open mind, not expecting too much, and I was so pleasantly happy, I would say. Like, I don't even know if I was surprised because even though I had this like really open mind and just didn't want to expect anything from this movie or expect it to be great, I had an inkling in my body that I'm like, for some reason, this has to be the one where they do good. They have to do justice to these characters. And they did. They actually did. It was cute. It was fun. It was exciting. It had energy. I actually found myself laughing. So the writing actually worked with the dialogue. Now, there were some lines that were predictable, but I feel like that just happens in superhero movies, but it worked within the film, which I really appreciated. And the characters who said certain things, just it worked, even if it was predictable, because the character in itself is a predictable characters. Side note, I wanted to talk a little bit about Will Poulter, who is, from Meet the Robinsons, Meet the Millards, Meet the Someones. He also looks like the guy from Toy Story, the head that crawls and stuff, which they did pay homage to, but you'll see it when you see it. I liked his character. I liked how he changed his demeanor than what he usually has. He usually is a playful kind of like dim-witted guy, like he wasn't so Mar, but this one, he had a little bit of a regalness, obviously, because you know who he is. And I liked it. It gave me Game of Thrones. They didn't give him a lot to work with as far as like dialogue and story, but the parts that he did come into play, liked it. There was a lot of new characters in this, which can be jarring, I will say. But again, I think they played their role of what they could do. Like, I don't know how much we needed from them, but it was fun. It was fun. There was a dog. It gave enough tragedy while balancing out fun, which was so exciting to see them juggle. It was nice. And you really felt the severity of the issues that they were having without spoiling it. But it kept that lighthearted feel. You were laughing, but you also wanted to cry at the same time, which is such a beautiful dynamic because you're experiencing such a wide range of emotions. And although this is a serious film and something very serious, well, it's not a serious film, but you know what I mean? Like, it's, the stakes are high. I also wanted to add, the stakes were also high because of the backstory that they were given a character. And sorry, it's Rocket. I'm sorry. I know I said you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out at the very beginning of the film, so it doesn't matter. It's Rocket, and it was just a joy, a pure joy to kind of see what Rocket has been through because he has such a hard exterior. And I'm like, yes, yes. I feel like tied this all together, made it the glue. It wasn't only just the fun and the campiness of Guardians of the Galaxy. It's really having some authentic and really gritty backstory to someone that we know and we love, and actually done where we can see him, baby. And even though it was sad as hell, you still are having fun. You're still laughing, even you face terror right at that moment. I applaud them. This is a Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Like, what you want from them as a ragtag team is what you truly get. And I really love how they did Gamora in this film. As you know, she don't recall nothing. You know, she died at the hands of her father. And obviously they have to keep that storyline, but how they played their character, I'm glad that they didn't change that for without putting out too much. I'm glad they didn't change that, and they really kept that throughout the movie with like even little instances and little actions that the characters would do, or like congratulate each other on things or hug or something like that. Her reactions to that type of behavior, given the circumstance and mind state that she's in her current life, just really, I feel like, just beautifully weaves the story together and the reality of the situation that they're in and that they have been in. And I did like it. I did. And I was like, oh my God, do I like a superhero movie again? I don't know. This movie just really shows how far the group has come, how far they've grown from their individual experiences as well with others within the group, and how they bounce off of each other and how they still have their flaws and their issues, but it's what makes them them. It makes them work together well. It makes their group actually elite. Like, there was one fight scene that looked so epic. The camera work was moving around. I don't know what they had. They had a dolly or something, but it was smooth. Like, it would go fast and slow and then regular speed, and you could see them like jumping on top of each other and just working with each other like they were a freaking choreographed ballerina squad. It was so good. Like, part of me just thinks they wouldn't be good vigilantes or good heroes because they're just so chaotic and so all over the place, and each of them has their own main character energy. It's almost hard to see all these main characters work together to be a group main character or main group character, a main character group. The Avengers. It was really cool to see. I enjoyed it. I loved each of the characters and what they gave them and how they made them come to life. They all had their own moments to shine and their moments to kind of just show where they're at now in this world. And it was cool to see their journey. And in this movie, they also learned some things about themselves along the way, which they're going to take with them going forward. And I'm like, Self growth, baby. And therapy. Love the villain. He was going through it. It's also noteworthy to mention that there was some people that looked like people from what's that movie, Spy Kids. They look like the Thumb People. I don't know if that was on purpose, but I couldn't take them seriously in those suits. I really couldn't. And I feel like that was on purpose. The villain was like super Thanos. I mean, every villain's the same. God complex, right the wrongs. They want to create perfect societies. Everyone sucks. I get it, whatever. But I don't know. He did a good job. He pulled it off. Like, this man thought he was the best ever, which most of them do. Because we all have a little bit of a God complex if you're a villain. And he definitely had it. Verbatim. But I liked him. There was a lot of spit going everywhere, a lot of anger happening. There was motive, and the motive made sense. And I just thank you for your performance. It was a joy to watch, a joy to see happen, and a joy to figure out how the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to confront you. All in all, I would see this movie. I think you should see it. Go watch it in theaters. It's a fun time. I did enjoy watching it on the big screen as opposed to in my house or something. So, yeah, I'd say see it. Yeah. I also saw Beau is Afraid, the new Ari Aster movie. Ari Aster made Midsommar and Hereditary, and that was a movie. Let me know if you want me to review that, because I will go in detail. It was 3 hours long, and it was a sight.